Hello soap fans and welcome back. Get ready because the drama on The Bold and the Beautiful is about to reach fever pitch this Wednesday, the 4th of February 2026. We're diving into explosive developments that will leave you absolutely speechless. From unexpected departures to forbidden romances. This episode promises to deliver the kind of jaw-dropping moments that keep us glued to our screens. Let's break down everything you need to know about the chaos that's about to unfold at Forrester Creations and beyond. Ivy Forrester's manipulation reaches peak toxicity. The saga of Ivy Forrester's increasingly unhinged behavior continues to spiral into dangerous territory. For those who've been following along, Ivy pulled off an Academy Award-worthy performance by faking illness to avoid her trip to San Francisco. But her real motivation had nothing to do with feeling under the weather and everything to do with keeping tabs on Will, Spencer, and Dylan. The lengths this woman will go to maintain control are truly staggering. What happened next crossed every boundary imaginable. Instead of behaving like a rational adult and simply knocking on the door to have a conversation, Ivy transformed into something straight out of a psychological thriller. She literally stood outside the window, peering in like some sort of stalker, watching Will and Dylan's private moments. The visual alone is disturbing. Imagine looking up and seeing someone's face pressed against your window, spying on your personal interactions. This isn't just inappropriate, it borders on criminal behavior that could warrant a restraining order in the real world. But here's where Ivy's actions become even more twisted. After witnessing whatever transpired between Will and Dylan, she didn't confront both parties involved. No, she specifically targeted Dylan, essentially blaming the victim while giving Will a complete pass. This selective accountability reveals everything about Ivy's character and her willingness to weaponize power dynamics. Let's be crystal clear about what actually happened. Will was the one persistently pressuring Dylan to dance for him. He was the instigator, repeatedly pushing Dylan into an uncomfortable situation. Yet, Ivy conveniently overlooked Will's role entirely, choosing instead to direct all her rage at Dylan. The confrontation that followed was both heartbreaking and infuriating. Ivy didn't just threaten Dylan with words, she literally threw cash in her face like she was some kind of object that could be bought and dismissed. The symbolism of that gesture speaks volumes about how Ivy views people she considers beneath her social status. It's dehumanizing, cruel, and demonstrates a level of entitlement that's truly shocking to witness. Dylan, who has been trying to build a life and career at Forrester Creations, suddenly finds herself on the receiving end of threats from someone with significant power and influence within the company. Dylan's heartbreaking decision to leave Los Angeles. The aftermath of Ivy's threats has left Dylan in an impossible position. Despite having done nothing wrong, Dylan now feels she has no choice but to leave town entirely. Her reasoning is painfully simple, yet completely understandable. She doesn't want Elektra to hate her. Dylan has clearly formed a genuine connection with Elektra, and the thought of that relationship being destroyed by Ivy's manipulation is more than she can bear. Rather than risk causing conflict or putting Elektra in the middle of this nightmare, Dylan has decided the cleanest solution is to simply disappear. Her plan is straightforward but devastating: pack up her belongings, fill up her car with gas, and drive away from Los Angeles without looking back. It's a decision born out of desperation rather than desire. Dylan isn't running away because she wants to leave, she's being forced out by someone who has weaponized their family connections and social, standing to make her life unbearable. The injustice of this situation cannot be overstated. Dylan is essentially being exiled for circumstances that were thrust upon her, while the people with actual power and responsibility face zero consequences. However, before Dylan can execute her exit strategy, she makes one final stop at Forrester Creations. This visit serves multiple purposes. On one level, she needs to officially resign and tie up loose ends professionally. But on a deeper level, Dylan feels she owes it to the people who welcomed her, particularly Elektra, to say goodbye properly, rather than just vanishing without explanation. The scene that's about to unfold promises to be emotionally charged and filled with unspoken truths. The moment of truth at Forrester Creations. When Dylan arrives at Forrester Creations to make her shocking announcement, the atmosphere becomes instantly tense. Both Will and Elektra, who have no idea about the real reasons behind Dylan's sudden decision, naturally demand an explanation. They deserve answers. Electra in particular is completely blindsided by Dylan's announcement that she's leaving town. The friendship that was blossoming between them is about to be cut short, and Electra understandably wants to know why. But here's the impossible situation Dylan finds herself trapped in. She cannot tell them the truth about Ivy. Revealing what Ivy did, the threats, the money thrown in her face, the intimidation would create a family crisis of epic proportions. Electra would be forced to choose between believing Dylan and standing by her family. Will would have to confront the fact that his actions contributed to this disaster. The fallout would be massive, messy, and potentially destroy multiple relationships beyond repair. So, Dylan is forced to lie. She'll manufacture some excuse, perhaps claiming a family emergency back home or a career opportunity she can't pass up, or personal reasons she can't discuss. Whatever story she concocts, it won't be the truth, and that knowledge will eat away at her. The pain of having to deceive people she cares about while simultaneously protecting the person who hurt her adds another layer of tragedy to an already heartbreaking situation. Dylan is taking the high road at enormous personal cost, sacrificing her own happiness and honesty to prevent collateral damage. Electra's dramatic exit and unexpected collision. The emotional devastation of Dylan's announcement hits Electra particularly hard, unable to process what she's just heard and desperate to either change Dylan's mind or simply escape the overwhelming feelings flooding through. Her Electra makes a dramatic exit from Forrester Creations. She's moving fast, probably with tears streaming down her face, her mind racing with questions and emotions she can't fully articulate. In her haste and emotional distress, Electra literally crashes into RJ Forrester. This isn't just a gentle bump, this is a full-on collision that stops both of them in their tracks. The physical impact mirrors the emotional collision happening internally for Electra. This chance encounter born from chaos and heartbreak could actually be the beginning of something significant between these two characters. Sometimes the universe has a funny way of bringing people together at exactly the moment when they need each other most. But here's the crucial twist that Bold and the Beautiful spoilers are hinting at. Dylan might not actually leave town just yet. Despite her plans to drive away and never look back, something is going to keep her in Los Angeles. Could it be this collision between RJ and Electra? Might RJ, being the observant and empathetic person he is, pick up on the distress and start asking questions that eventually lead to the truth coming out? The timing of this encounter suggests it's more than just coincidence. It could be the catalyst that prevents Dylan's departure and exposes Ivy's toxic behavior. Deacon and Taylor's forbidden romance escalates. Meanwhile, in what might be the most controversial storyline currently unfolding, Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes are making a vow to one another that completely ignores the massive elephant in the room. Deacon is still married to Sheila Carter Sharp. Let that sink in for a moment. This isn't a separated but not divorced situation. Deacon is actively married to one of the most dangerous women in soap opera history, yet he's somehow convinced himself that he's in love with Taylor. The absurdity of this situation would be comical if it weren't so potentially catastrophic. Deacon, who has made questionable decisions throughout his entire life, is now making perhaps his worst choice yet. Instead of having the basic decency to end his marriage to Sheila first, he's pursuing a romantic relationship with Taylor, while still legally bound to his wife. The moral and ethical implications are staggering. This isn't just infidelity, it's playing with fire while standing in a warehouse full of gasoline. What makes this situation even more bewildering is Taylor's participation. Dr. Taylor Hayes, a licensed psychiatrist who has spent her entire career helping people make healthy decisions, has apparently thrown her medical oaths and professional ethics completely out the window. She knows better than anyone the importance of ending one relationship properly before starting another. She understands the psychological dangers of deceit and betrayal. Yet somehow she's convinced herself that pursuing Deacon, married Deacon, is acceptable behavior. The vow they're making to one another presumably involves promises of commitment, love, and a future together. But how can any of those promises mean anything when they're built on a foundation of lies and betrayal every moment Deacon and Taylor spend? Together, every secret kiss or stolen glance is occurring while Sheila remains his legal wife. They're not just risking their own happiness, they're potentially putting everyone around them in danger. The Sheila problem nobody wants to address. Let's talk about the massive problem that Deacon and Taylor seem to be conveniently ignoring. Sheila Carter Sharp is not the kind of woman you cheat on and expect to walk away unscathed. This is a person with a documented history of violence, manipulation, and revenge plots that have destroyed countless lives. Sheila doesn't just get angry when betrayed, she gets even, and her methods are both creative and terrifying. Deacon needs to grow a spine and divorce Sheila before pursuing anything with Taylor. This isn't just about doing the right thing morally, it's about basic survival instincts. Every day that passes with Deacon and Taylor sneaking around behind Sheila's back is another day closer to an inevitable explosion that will make previous disasters look like minor inconveniences. They cannot keep this secret forever. Sheila will find out, she always finds out, and when she does, the consequences will be severe. When Steffi Forrester Finnegan discovers what her mother has been up to, the fury will be legendary. Steffi has spent years trying to protect her family from dangerous people and toxic situations. She fought tooth and nail to keep Sheila away from her family. Now, to learn that her own mother is involved in a secret affair with Sheila's husband, the betrayal will cut deep on multiple levels. Steffi won't just be angry, she'll be devastated, feeling like Taylor has undermined everything they've worked to build and maintain. Beyond her personal hurt, Steffi will immediately recognize the danger this puts everyone in. She'll start taking precautions to protect her own family, particularly her children, from potential retaliation when Sheila inevitably discovers the affair. The woman is calculating enough to know that Sheila doesn't distinguish between the guilty parties and their innocent loved ones when seeking revenge. Every Forrester and Finnegan will need to be on high alert once this situation explodes into the open. RJ's return and creative showcase. Amidst all this romantic chaos and emotional turmoil, there's actually some positive professional development happening. RJ Forrester is not only sticking around Los Angeles, he's ready to prove why he deserves to be taken seriously as a fashion designer in his own right. After his unexpected collision with Elektra, which could very well lead to him getting pulled into the Dylan situation. RJ will be showcasing his latest design sketches to none other than Carter Walton. This presentation represents a significant moment for RJ's career trajectory. He's stepping out from the shadow of his famous family name and attempting to establish his own creative identity within the fashion world. The sketches he's preparing to show Carter aren't just random doodles, they represent his vision, his aesthetic sensibility, and his understanding of what Forrester Creations could offer to the market. Carter Walton, who has proven himself to be more than just a legal advisor to the company, will be evaluating RJ's work with a discerning eye. The spoilers suggest that Carter will be genuinely impressed by what he sees. This isn't empty praise or family politics. Carter recognizes real talent when he sees it. RJ's designs apparently demonstrate a level of skill and creativity that could actually contribute meaningful value to Forrester Creations. Upcoming collections. But here's where things get interesting. Carter is planning a wedding to Daphne Rose. This upcoming nuptial presents a perfect opportunity for RJ to showcase his talents in a high-profile, personal way. Could Carter be so impressed with RJ's designs that he actually asks him to create something special for the wedding, designing for Carter? And Daphne's big day would be an incredible opportunity for RJ to prove himself, while also creating something meaningful for people he cares about. Wedding designs require a unique blend of elegance, personal touch, and show-stopping visual impact, exactly the kind of challenge that could establish RJ as a serious designer worth watching. There you have it, Bold and the Beautiful fans. Wednesday's episode is packed with drama that will leave you absolutely reeling. From Dylan's devastating decision to Ivy's toxic manipulation, from forbidden romance to creative opportunities, every storyline is reaching a critical turning point. Make sure you don't miss a single moment of this must-watch episode. What do you think will happen next? Will Dylan actually leave town? Or will something keep her in Los Angeles? Can Deacon and Taylor really keep their secret from Sheila? Let us know your predictions in the comments below.